Let's take a look at this game. We got the Los Angeles Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. This game kicks off at 5:15 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN. Steve Levy will be on the call. We know the Monday night booth. It's not necessarily the most popular booth, but hey, it's all right. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but I don't know if they're doing the Manning cast for this one. I do believe that they are. But what I can tell you guys is I love the Manning cast. I think it's a great idea. I love the response that it's getting. I think it's a great way for people to be a little bit more in tune with the game, especially with such a weak broadcast booth on Monday Night Football. It's just not for me. Myself personally, I just want to see a normal broadcast. I love the stuff that the Manning guys are doing. Peyton and Eli they're doing an awesome job. I mean, you got Eli throwing double birds out here, and Peyton Manning's been hilarious for years. So, hey, it's good stuff, man. It's good TV. I don't care if the FCC got 3 complaints on Eli Manning doing the double bird. I think it's awesome. You know what I mean? I think it's cool stuff. And mainly because I suffer no repercussions from it. So I say let's just have some fun with it. But it's not for me. If you guys are participating and watching that, that's awesome. Definitely don't hate it. I think it's a really cool thing. It's just not something that I seek out for sure. But this game is, of course, at Levi's Stadium, the Field of Jeans. Uniform watch on this one. The Rams will be in their modern throwbacks again. So we got the white jersey on the sole pants. And we did see this in week 1. We also just saw it last week against the Titans. And so Rams are 1-1 in the modern throwbacks. So it's time to break that tie against the 49ers, who will actually be in their 94 throwback. They're going to be in the red jersey over the white pants. And they call them the 94 jerseys. They're the ones that had the drop shadow that people hated. You know, I don't know why they're going with these ones. Those are like known as like the worst 49ers jerseys in history. Like everybody talks about it. Even Jerry Rice was like, those jerseys are dumb. Like I can't remember. It was like a top 10 list or something like that. And he was talking about it. He's like, oh, those were bad. It's like, oh no, I didn't like those jerseys. Like, and they're just rocking them, dude. I don't know but it'll be kind of interesting to see visually. It'll be like aesthetically pleasing because you'll see the Rams in their modern throwbacks. I point over here like you guys can see the jersey that's off screen right now. It's my Stafford jersey. That's the modern throwback, but that's off to the side here. But it'll be cool to see the modern throwback, and then also you got the throwback version of the 49ers jersey. So just aesthetically it'll be kind of cool, but ultimately those 49ers jerseys are historically known as like their worst. So I don't know exactly what they're trying to prove or if they're trying to like claim that, like embrace the suck kind of thing. You guys know what I'm talking about? Let's take a look at the history of this matchup. This is the 144th all-time meeting between the two teams. The 49ers do lead the all-time series 73, 67, and 3. The most recent tie, there was the 3 ties, came in 2012, and that was incredible. I like to see the tie happen. The game was amazing. The tie sucked. I remember watching it with a 49ers fan, and we just kind of like looked at each other at the end of the game. Like overtime ends, we just kind of looked at each other and was like, good game? like, because normally we were just sitting there talking trash the entire time, but then it ended as a tie. And it's like, what are you supposed to say? Like, neither of us won. Like, I don't know, it sucked. But then, of course, we did get to play them just like 3 weeks later, which was awesome. And then it almost took a full 10 quarters because Greg Zuerlein hit the kick. There was 26 seconds left on the clock, and it was awesome. Won the game. Great game. Heck of a game. Jeezy kicking that field goal, man. That was unbelievable at the Edward Jones Dome. It was super cool. I lost my mind on that one. I remember like jumping up and down. It's like I was going nuts because it was such a tough thing to do, is to get a win over the 49ers that year, which was actually the year that they won the Super Bowl. Or they were in the Super Bowl. The 49ers have won the last 4 between these two teams. So the last 2 seasons, the 49ers have been able to beat the Rams. That does include a Nick Mullins-led 49ers team, so that's not dope. One playoff meeting between these two that came on January 14th of 1990. That was pre-Sheriff Joe Baggs time over here. That was a 30-3 San Francisco win in the NFC Championship game. And at the games where the Rams were playing at the 49ers lead that all-time series 36-34 and 2. So, yep, we got, this is obviously like a historical matchup. These games that the Rams and 49ers have played have been very tight, but there's something about this matchup specifically that I feel like the Rams will be able to come out with this one. And I don't want to get like overly confident because I feel like every time I'm super confident in this team, they come out really flat. Like, I don't know what happens with that. So maybe every time I need to be like, I don't know, it's going to be hard, guys. But I think that the Rams have a good shot at this one, especially you do consider the last 2 years, the last 4 games that the Rams have been able to beat the Niners. But these are different teams right now. Okay, this Rams team is I think the offense is better than it was last year. Defense is worse. Statistically speaking. We also haven't seen Von Miller yet, and he does figure to possibly play this weekend. We'll see. And then the 49ers, I mean, they look not good this year. I mean, they're 3-5 coming in. They're kind of limping in a little bit. They cannot get their injuries under control, and I don't know why they're sitting at 3-5 and still rocking with Jimmy Garoppolo. You've already told the entire universe that he's not your future. Trey Lance is your future quarterback, and they're still just rocking with him. So I'm kind of confused by that. But if we take a look at this game a little bit more in depth on the Rams side here, the Rams do enter this game off that 4-game skid. Can McVay really turn it around against Kyle Shanahan? Shanahan just seems to have McVay's number these last few seasons. Can the Rams bounce back after getting embarrassed on a national stage? His history under McVay says yes, that the Rams will bounce back and not lose 2 straight and not come off of a game on primetime where you really did get embarrassed. Like, simply put, I mean, the Rams, I don't think played as bad as it's like they're getting credit for, I guess. But I think the Titans just played really well. But it did count as an embarrassment because that was supposed to be a Rams win. Like, the Derrick Henry-less Tennessee Titans come to town, and the Rams just aren't able to get it done. So I do think that plays in too. The Sean McVay, he's very good off of a loss. And can the Rams keep on pace with the Arizona Cardinals? All right. We need to really enter that game against the Arizona Cardinals with either 1 game behind or the same record. And hopefully it can be same record and the Rams can go into that game with the same record as the Cardinals, win that game, and then be ahead of them. Because even if we beat them no matter what, we'll split the series with them. So, I mean, it's hard to get a leg up when you're splitting the series with them, and we'll have to look at the division games. And, of course, the Rams already did defeat the Seattle Seahawks, but that means you need to win against the 49ers. And are the Rams really doomed to be a wild card team this year? Like, is that what just happens? Like, is that just with the Arizona Cardinals and the ways their season's going? Like, are the Rams just locked in at a 5 seed? And if we were in almost any other division, we'd be right there winning. But because the Arizona Cardinals, are we just doomed to be the wild card team? It almost feels like it, but there's plenty of season to go and plenty of time for the Rams to beat up on the Arizona Cardinals. On the 49ers side, Kyle Shanahan, he should be on the hot seat if he's not already. He absolutely should be. He's kind of running this team. Well, it feels like he's running this team into the ground a little bit. All right. If the 49ers get to 0-4 in the division and a 3-6 overall record, why would you not play Trey Lance at that point? Then I definitely have questions if they're not playing Trey Lance. With an 0-4 division record, 3-6 season record, if you're not playing Trey Lance at that point, you're not doing a good job. This guy needs reps, okay? You can all say all you want about, Patrick Mahomes and Alex Smith and Aaron Rodgers from Brett Favre and stuff like that, but there's also every other quarterback ever who just started day one and was fine. Like the example of quarterbacks who sat behind a veteran, it just doesn't happen that often. It just doesn't happen as often as when you draft a quarterback in the top 5 and that's just your quarterback now. Like, look at the Rams. I mean, we did it with Goff and Keenum, and that it was not good. Like, it was not good. There was no reason for Goff not to be playing. I mean, and then we saw that he went 0-7 in his rookie season, so it wasn't like it was awesome or anything like that, but I think that those reps would have been valuable for Jared Goff, especially if he had an extra 9 games before he got into the Sean McVay offense. But we did it with Bradford. Bradford was good to go right away. But I think that if you do go 0-4 in the division and 3-6 overall, it is Trey Lance time for sure. And if that does happen, if you're 0-4 in the division and 3-6 overall, the 49ers will not be eliminated from the playoffs mathematically, just emotionally eliminated from the playoffs. I don't know how you emotionally sit at 3-6 and then are still like, we can do this. We can do this. Like, the best we can do in division is 2-4, but hey, we can do this. I just think you're out of it at that point. Let's take a look at the matchup on this one. We'll start with the Rams offense versus the 49ers defense. You see that the Rams offense is a top 5 unit, 3rd in passing. Thank you, Matt Stafford, who actually currently leads the NFL in passing yards. Running the football, the Rams are creeping up that average just a little bit, it feels like. Seems like for a long time the Rams were under that 100 mark, now sitting at 20th overall and 103 yards a game, and putting up almost the 30 points a game, sitting at 29, which is 5th. On the other side, 49ers defense playing some decent ball, especially against the pass, struggling against the run though, and giving up a decent amount of points. So it's almost like the opposite as the Rams defense, where it feels like they give up a lot of yards and then not a lot of points. The 49ers defense feels like they don't give up that many yards, but they're giving up the points, which is exactly why you need to look at that offense and Jimmy Garoppolo, because if you're not giving up yards, but you're giving up points, that means short fields. Jimmy Garoppolo, not doing it. All right, but the 49ers defense, their pass defense ranks 4th in the NFL. That's awesome, all right? But the Rams also come in with Matthew Stafford in this one, and I think the biggest part of this game and the difference from the last 4 games going into this game is those last 4 games, it was Robert Saleh at defensive coordinator going against quarterback Jared Goff. And there was something that Saleh had that he knew how to just disrupt Jared Goff. Goff, historically, he just was not... He played so poorly against the 49ers that it caused Rams fans to say, wait a second, he wears number 16 because of Joe Montana. He grew up a 49ers fan. Is he throwing these games against the 49ers? Legitimately conversations that I've seen happen because Saleh was able to get after Jared Goff so hard, okay? That was it was a problem, okay? But hey, that's not the case anymore. Yep, we got Ryans out there now, and he's doing okay. He's doing fine. Little predictable out there. And I think that Matthew Stafford, I mean, obviously he's a better quarterback than Jared Goff, but I think having Matthew Stafford in this game, going to San Francisco, I think is going to be the difference. I think that's what we'll look at the end of this game and be like, man, if we had Goff, though, we probably wouldn't have won it. And I do want to start to get away from those Goff conversations, the Goff-versations. That didn't work as well as I wanted it to, but I want to get a little bit more away from those, of just like, because it happens all the time that we're like, well, Jared Goff did this, Jared Goff has done this, and Jared Goff, so it's kind of irrelevant now. He's the Lions quarterback, all right? It is irrelevant now. Hopefully by the end of the season, we kind of just cleanse ourselves of that, okay? Maybe we'll just have a whole Jared Goff episode and just get it out. Just get it out. Just cleanse it up, all right? Let's take a look at the other side, though. The 49ers offense versus the Rams defense. The 49ers offense sitting basically middle of the pack here. 15th overall, 13th in passing, 14th in running. So just a skosh above average here, but below average in points, which is they're putting up just over 23 points a game, 18th in the NFL. On the other side, for the Rams defense, tied for 16th in total yards. So quite literally the middle of the pack here. And against the pass, 17th. That number, though, keeps on fluctuating. Actually, let me just take a quick peek on last week, what we were sitting at 21st against the pass with 264.1. So we are looking a little bit better there, but also the Titans didn't necessarily put up a lot of offense in that game. And then against the run, Rams doing fine, 7th in the NFL, and then giving up a little under 22 points a game, tied for 10th in points against. So for this one, what I'm looking at is the addition of Von Miller and what that will do to the Rams pass rush, if he does indeed play. I did anticipate him playing last week. Honestly, the Broncos anticipated him playing the week before, so I was a little bit surprised to see him not play in week 9. And now there's conversations that he may not play in week 10. So I hope he does, even if it's on a limited basis, because I would like to see him out on this field. And then the Rams go into their bye week next week. So I think it's like perfect timing to get him out there, even if you have like a pretty limited snap count on Von Miller. Get him out there, get him going with us, with our guys. Let him high five Aaron Donald and stuff like that when cool things happen. Like, let's get that going, man, because that momentum is going to be huge. And on the 49ers side, if Jimmy Garoppolo keeps on being Jimmy Garoppolo, then it's time to go to Trey Lance. And I don't see a universe where Jimmy Garoppolo just stops being Jimmy Garoppolo. So I think it's just time to go to Trey Lance. I don't think it happens this week. I don't know what Kyle Shanahan is doing at the quarterback position unless this is just a sign that Trey Lance is very far from being ready, which is also another conversation that I think needs to happen, because if you already know that Jimmy, like, you're moving on from Jimmy after this season and that Trey Lance is your future guy. You're sitting at 3-5 right now, entering week 10, where you technically you're one game out of a playoff spot. You have a shot to do it. So would you not play you're 3-5, okay? You're 3-5. And would you not want to play your rookie, your brand new star and get him going? You know what I mean? And is Trey Lance, is Shanahan holding out Trey Lance so that he gets to come back next year? Because if Jimmy Garoppolo plays this whole season, then Shanahan go up to the front office and be like, hey, man, you guys going to let me draft a quarterback and not play him, not progress him? Like, how am I supposed to? I can't work with him? I drafted this guy. And so I think it could be a play in multiple different ways. There's a lot of different things that could be going on. Kyle Shanahan could just be stupid and playing Jimmy Garoppolo over Trey Lance because Jimmy Garoppolo is still Jimmy Garoppolo. And then, or it could be Trey Lance just is not ready. There's no way he's ready, and he's not a good quarterback right now. And so why would you throw him out there? It's just going to make you look really bad. Made the wrong decision maybe if you move all the way up to 3 to grab a guy that's not a good quarterback. Or is Kyle Shanahan waiting so that he has some leverage to come back next year because, hey, I didn't even get a chance to play with my new quarterback that you guys let me draft? Come on now. So I think it's one of those 3 things. Let's take a look at the 3 to see. Last week, we'll just take a quick look back at the Tennessee Titans game. Jalen Ramsey, we had him, and he got his 3rd interception of the season. Van Jefferson had 3 catches for 41 yards, no touchdowns. Had some interesting plays, definitely some drops, and I don't want to see that, man. That was hard. That was hard for me emotionally. I have a hard time with drops because that you're a wide receiver. I feel like you catch the football. You know what I mean? That's my thing. But they also had drops on their side too. The Tennessee Titans had A.J. Brown had 2 third down drops, and that's definitely not good. And then we also had Von Miller, but he did not play. So Jalen, Van, and Vaughn. There's something there. I'm not sure yet. We'll figure it out. Next one, though, for this game at the San Francisco 49ers, Monday Night Football, MNF, hashtag MNF. Matthew Stafford. We're going to go with Stafford. For the last 2 years, the Rams have had Jared Goff playing against the 49ers. Robert Saleh had plenty of success against Jared Goff. Well, now Saleh has gone in as well as Jared Goff. So that is not a matchup in this one at all. And now we get to see Matthew Stafford, what he can do against this San Francisco 49ers defense, which I do believe will be better than what Jared Goff did. We also are going to add Von Miller. My only comment, for real this time. Let's see if he gets out there. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what energy he brings to this Rams defense, because that's what I'm excited about, to see what he does out there in terms of interacting with the other guys, with Flo, with Donald, with Ramsey, and what that looks like, what that atmosphere kind of looks like, and also the Von Miller impact where, you know, he's going to be able to pull some attention away from guys like Aaron Donald. Or is Aaron Donald just going to still get the attention and Von Miller's just going to have like the best season of his career because he's got one-on-one blocks the whole time, something that he was having difficulty getting when he was in Denver, especially with all the injuries that happened out there. So this will be interesting. I want to see Von out there. I want to see him in the modern throwback, and this is our last chance to do it. This is the last time the Rams will wear that this season. And my last one here for the 3 to see against the 49ers is going to be running back Daryl Henderson. He is currently 7th in the NFL in rushing yards, which, by the way, surprised me. I didn't. When I saw that he was 7th, I was like, wait, for real? Like, I feel like he is not, like, I don't think he's playing poorly. I just don't feel like we've used him that much. He hasn't had a 100-yard rushing game since like week 4 of last year. He just consistently is averaging like 5 yards a carry, and I think he's playing fine, but I put him in this one because he's 7th, and the 49ers defense, they are coming off of a day where they got absolutely smoked by James Conner. All right, so I don't know if that's going to be something where they're like, well, we can't let Hendo do it to us, or if they're just like, we can't stop running backs. Like, that's right. Is that who we are? We just can't stop running backs. So I think Hendo potentially has a big day. But for reference, again, James Conner last week against the 49ers had 21 rushes for 96 yards, 2 touchdowns, and through the air had 5 receptions for 77 yards and 1 other touchdown. I would tell you that all the best Rams fans make it all the way to the end of the video, but if you're watching this, you already knew that because you're in that group. So if you haven't already, on this side is going to be where you subscribe, and if you already liked this entire clip, which, again, if you're watching this part, I'm sure you did, the entire podcast is going to be on this side. Peace! Go Rams!